explosive single. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may tap any number of untapped creatures you control. 10 damage to a target. That was a blot down. Do I have something that could just, like, bounce something out of the way? Alright, here it is. We'll do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. 9 mana minus 5 is 4. I'll Shigeki for 1. One, two, three, 4. Do like this. Hope we don't lose. If you're gonna lose, I guess that is a reasonable way to lose. Hey friends, it's Michael J. Flores. And you've probably been asking yourself, if you're one of the, unfortunately, too few people so far who have checked back into our channel, hey, Michael J., it's weird that you started up your YouTube channel again after like a dozen plus years, but did you know that a new set came out this week? Well, friends, in fact, I did know, but I wasn't in the Cool Kids Club yet. We'll be in the Cool Kids Club soon. So for me, March of the Machine just came out yesterday, today, and this will be the first video that I record with some new March of the Machine cards. Let me tell you a little story. I played in the March of the Machine pre-release last week. I won, victory. But I was jealous of my friend Jeff. My friend Jeff Wu, who's one of the original members of Team Discovery Channel, if you can think back to 1990s Magic the Gathering lore. Jeff got this card Vorinclex in his sealed deck pool. Vorinclex, just adjectiveless Vorinclex. Not the Raider, or I was going to say Skyship Raider, that's Gary's Ab, right? But, there have been various Vorinclexes in the past, just like there have been various Sheoldreds in the past, and various Jin-Gitaxias in the past, but just adjectiveless Vorinclex. This card is a 5 mana 6/6. So 5 mana 6/6 on traditional Magic the Gathering rate. No one's going to write home for that, but it has a ton of abilities. It's Trample and Reach. And it also has this ability, when Vorinclex enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 2 forests. Not basic forests. You can get different types of forests, like, tri-lands, or in other formats, probably dual lands. Up to 2 forests, reveal them, put them into your hand, and then shuffle. And that's not all. That's actually already pretty good. For 5 mana, you get a, 5/6 of a Primeval Titan, maybe 2/3 of a Primeval Titan. You get, like, searching up 2 lands capability. You get a 6/6 body. It has trample, but only for 5 mana, not 6. So that's not bad. But it has this other ability, which is 8. 6 GG. Exile Vorinclex, then return it to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery. And then it becomes the Grand Evolution, which has a ton of abilities. Mill 10 cards, put 2 creatures into play. Make 7/7 +1/+1 counters, and then this other thing, which is a cool fight ability. Then it flips back up into regular Vorinclex to do that dance again. Although I can't imagine that the game is going to go very long if the Grand Evolution goes through the 3 chapters of its saga. So anyway, Jeff got Vorinclex. I was like super jealous. First thing I did when March of the Machine came live on my Magic the Gathering Arena account was to wildcard for Vorinclex. I tried some pretty bad rampy decks, and I was like, oh, what a waste of wild cards. But I settled on this deck. This is just like I'd say maybe version 1.2 of this deck. The shell is very similar to a mid-range Golgari deck that Pro Tour Hall of Famer Willie Edel was playing about a year ago when Strixhaven was still live in Standard. This deck's got, like, Briarbridge Tracker at the 3, along with Graveyard Trespasser. It has a little, like, kind of Shigeki sub-theme, but it's, like, really a lot of black control DNA splashing for green. Interestingly, it splashes for green at the 1, right? So you play this card Dig Up. In the games, I will be loath to cast Dig Up for 1. If you're casting Dig Up for 1, it usually sucks. Dig Up for 4 is where it's at. That is a very Napster sort of diabolic tutor kind of effect for 4. And so there's a lot of bullets in this deck. You can get 1 Gix's Command, 1 the Cruelty of Gix, 1 Invoke Despair. So Invoke Despair is weird in this deck. At first I was trying with 4 Invoke Despair, but then I realized that I could not cast it very consistently on turn 5. And the reason for that is because the mana base is very, very biased because of Vorinclex. You have to play a ton of forests. You have to, or Vorinclex doesn't make any sense. So the idea with this deck is kind of hold it all together with Vorinclex. Very powerful high end. 1 Storm the Festival. And, just kind of mess the opponent up on every single angle on the way up. A lot of black controlled DNA here. So we have like a lot of cards that a black controlled deck might have, whether it's Rakdos, whether it's mono black, Reckoner Bankbusters. I went up to a full suite of 4 cut down and 4 go for the throat. They just kept paying me, and originally I had like 3 and 3 or something. It was way better to cut cute cards in order to just not lose to soldiers and mono red as frequently early on. A ton of mana. This deck is like the best mana of any deck in Standard right now, I think, because it has, a ton of lands, 24 lands, an average amount of lands, but then these 4 dig ups as well. So it plays like it has 28 lands, but these dig ups, obviously in the mid game, you're rather getting bullets. Bullets are card draw. We're going to play some best of 3, just like regular matches today. This is like the version 1.2 of the deck, so I'm not ready yet to risk my mythic rating on it. Or to gamble away a lot of gems in events. But I think if we tune it up, I will be. But I thought we'd play best of 3 so we can show off the sideboard. A couple things going on. Parasitic Grasp, I think that's very good in this deck. And the reason for that is I'm not heavily committed to the kind of Invoke Despair high end, where a deck like a red beatdown deck that morphs into red mid-range can really get paid off in sideboarded games, is that the opponent has a ton of like Invoke Despairs that are bad because they're just killing Phoenix Chick, or you're paying 5 mana to kill Phoenix Chick and then you probably get attacked to death on the way back. This deck doesn't have a lot of those cards to cut, so actually just playing Parasitic Grasp to get faster and to protect your life total so that you can kind of control the mid game with Vorinclex and Sheoldred is actually a pretty good strategy relative to a deck that has an expensive, but in matchup, like obviously Invoke Despair is an incredibly high impact card, but it's not very good against mono red beatdown usually. All right, so we don't have a lot of this action to sideboard out, so Parasitic Grasp gets a lot better. We can grind really well. We can go up to 4 Reckoner Bankbuster, but what I'd rather do, I think, is try to go over the top. So in decks that are like trying to control the mid game or win in the mid game, I want to just play more Storm the Festivals. And this deck is really cool. There's no cards that are too expensive. Storm the Festival is the only card that doesn't hit Storm the Festival in terms of casting cost. But this deck has a lot of spells, right? Like sometimes you'll flip over, go for the throat or something, you end up flipping over 2 lands and that's all you get. But you can get Vorinclex, you can get Sheoldred, you can get the other Sheoldred. So I wildcarded 1 Sheoldred. This 5 casting cost Sheoldred is pretty cool. It's a Diabolic Edict on the way down. It's a menace 4/5 creature and then has, these other abilities. I can tell you in the kind of testing I've done so far, you're not even flipping these creatures over very often. The impact of the Sheoldred, or certainly the impact of the Vorinclex, are enough to win on the front side usually. The only time I ever flipped over Vorinclex so far, I ended up losing because my opponent also flipped over a Phyrexian Praetor that game. So a little more Shigeki to grind. But here's the cool thing that I think is a little bit different and special, and I think might be one of the things that makes this deck an interesting deck to play moving forward. You got these Storm of the Festival, so your mid-game plan, let's go Storm the Festival, but you can flip over Karn Sylex. This card is a permanent, so it's eligible to be flipped over by Storm the Festival. It's 3 casting costs, so it's cheap enough to be flipped over by Storm the Festival. And if your opponent is one of these maniacs who's just playing a ton of battles or a ton of planeswalkers, this is exactly the kind of card you want to be hitting. So I filled my sideboard with cards like Karn Sylex in order to get action off of Storm of the Festival. When you bring all these cards in together, you're going to want to take out like a bunch of cut downs and things like that against decks with maybe a lot of battles or planeswalkers, powerful high impact permanents. I have one Thrun Breaker of Silence. I had like 3 Thruns at one point. I had some in my main deck. This card is actually really awesome. I think that if Mono Blue reemerges as one of the main players in Standard, it's not currently super popular. And I think Thrun is one of the best cards. Like, if you can actually cast it, this card is unbeatable. No one plays correctly against Thrun because it's so infrequently played. I played incorrectly against Mono Blue with Thrun in play just yesterday. I didn't realize I could just attack Thrun into my opponent's 5/5 ward creature because it's indestructible on my turn. So I was like, oh, I have to hold back and then like kind of set up my battlefield. No, I could have just attacked into it. They would have been forced to block, and Thrun would have just eaten their Tolarian Terror. Anyway, I hope you like this deck. I hope we have some really exciting games. We're going to play best of 3 today, so we're going to see some sideboard action. And I will check it out with you right after this jump. Our opponent is Udon, a delicious sort of noodles. Looks like they're going to go first. Going first is less of an advantage in best of 3 than it is in best of 1. Okay, our hand is fine. Especially if they're beatdown, we have good resistance to a beatdown opener. And they are beatdown. What we want to see is a 1 casting cost card on turn 2, which will give us an opportunity to use Cut Down on curve. They do not cooperate, unfortunately, so we're just going to get range for 3 here. I'm going to summon a second Swamp and say go. Sometimes you can catch Mono Red really hot with the Filigree Sylex because they have so many 1 casting cost cards. Mechanized Warfare. I am going to destroy this before we take a ton of extra damage. We're going to end up taking 3. And then I am going to... This is a little tough. I am going to play the Filigree Sylex. Oh no. Oh, Auto Tapper. Oh boy. Auto Tapper got me. Oh, Auto Tapper. We're going to take 3 this turn that we didn't have to take. Oh, that's so bad. It's my own fault, I guess. When I said we were aspiring to take 3. That's so bad. Oh, no. Alright. Let's try to recover. First, I'm going to play this land. Oh, no. So horrible. Whoa, what the? Auto Tapper! Alright, we're not destined to win this game. Oh my gosh. Why would they tap like that? Oh man. And I mean I even brain farted. I should have destroyed these 1 casting cost permanents before okay, so we're going down to 3. If we had 1 more life, we would have been able to not lose our awesome permanent to that terrible permanent. Okay. All we need is for our opponent to fade twice, right? So they can play a creature that we can kill with Cut Down this turn. That would count as fading. That counts. Just fade twice, man. And they do not have a sufficient number of things to punish us. 3. If we lose this one, and it is likely we will. It's because of me and the Auto Tapper. Oh wow. If we get this one, we didn't deserve it. Alright, I am going to put 2+1/+1s on a guy and then return something to my hand. +1/+1s on a guy. Submit 1. Get a guy back. We did not deserve that game. We should have paid better attention on the Auto Tapper. Our opponent cooperated by fading. It was awesome. Okay. Parasitic Grasp. This is the matchup for it. I think most of the rest of this stuff is a little slow. Sheoldred, I mean, that's kind of like an Invoke Despair, right? But doesn't draw any extra cards. So let's take out 4 cards. I'm not excited by Storm. Gix's command is good. I'm not excited by Liliana. So we still need to take out 2. So if our opponent is playing Mechanized Warfare, I think I like Filigree Sylex still. I think the 3 casting cost Sylex is too expensive. It's too slow. Cut 2 more cards. I think Cruelty is probably less exciting, and I will cut... You never really want to cast Shigeki on turn 2, I don't think. Although, let's see, let's look at this. Parasitic Grasp. Opponents are often going to be casting a human, not always, though. Yeah, I think let's cut... You know what, let's cut 1 Shigeki. Alright. Oh, that was a mess. Never trust the auto-tapper, friends. Alright, Udon. Delicious noodles you are. Let's see. This hand is not keepable. This hand is very keepable. I am going to... Oh, this Filigree Sylex is pretty good. I'm going to send back Vorinclex. We can't cast it. Sucks to send that one back, though. Opponent, no first turn play. Gotta love it. Kamano faces Kakazan. Sure. I'm going to play this here, Forest, and pass. Worst case, the opponent casts Feldon this turn, which would stink, but I would still be happy to destroy Feldon, I think. Mechanized Warfare. Our opponent's draw stinks. I'm going to throw out Briarbridge Tracker. I'd rather if they had a removal, they killed Briarbridge Tracker than Graveyard Trespasser. Like, if he attacks, I'm just not going to block. Alright, we'll take 3 here. Presumably. Kamano faces Kakazan. They have not played a creature yet. They've only played enchantment creatures. What do we not want to see? If he has Thundering Raiju here, which I don't think this build typically plays Thundering Raiju. Another Mechanized Warfare. Let that resolve. Is this a human? Yeah. I'm gonna just save myself some damage. Put a counter on Filigree Sylex. I will cast the saddest Graveyard Trespasser in all the realms of Dominia. Make it so that they can't rebuy with Bloodthirsty Adversary there. Alright, so they're going to have another 2/2. I think I'm actually going to want to try to kill their Mechanized Warfares. Phoenix Chick, sure. I lied. I let them attack. Then I'm going to do this. Blow up 1s. And then we're going to eat the Phoenix Chick with the Graveyard Trespasser. Activate ability. That's a good one. In this situation, we can kill Mechanized Warfare. Okay. I am going to rumble. Eat Phoenix Chick. It's going to put us to 18. If we cast Invoke Despair here, we're going to draw 2 cards. And puts us in a pretty good situation to draw a land, I think, to cast this Parasitic Grasp in our hand. I think I'm going to do that. Alright. Kind of didn't deserve game 1. We were rewarded anyway. Let's try some more. All right, Terosuke 774. Come get some. Opponent goes first again. Terrible. This hand cannot put up a fight in some matchups, but I'm going to keep it. Opponent, Ziatora's Proving Ground. It's actually a pretty interesting scenario. There's an argument to be made that we should have just held our own Ziatora's Proving Ground to cycle later, because we've already drawn 5 land. What do you got? Fable the Mirror Breaker. We're going to play a card that is of similar power level. Alright. I never do this, by the way. So, if they had shown more black mana, I would have just killed the Goblin Shaman. But they did not show more black mana. Topiary Stomper, sure. You gonna send this guy to his doom? I'd love it if you did. Not sending him to his doom, okay. I'm gonna cast Sheoldred, and then we're gonna save Cut Down for the Reflection of Kiki-Jiki. Like, I don't want to live in a universe where I'll block here, where our opponent is like rebuying Titan of Industry every turn. Is that what you're gonna do? Titan of Industry. You called it. Shield counter? Rhino? What do you got? Rhino. The Rhino is deuced. Alright, first things first. Let's get rid of this thing before it's too much chaos. We could send Graveyard Trespasser. No, that would go to this Doom. I kind of want to kill that Titan of Industry so that we can rebuy it with Cruelty of Gix. That would be hot. How will we do that? Briarbridge Tracker. Second Trespasser isn't getting us a lot here, so I'm just going to play Briarbridge Tracker. Maybe our opponent will attack. If they attack, we can take the shield counter off with a chump block, and then figure out a way to kill it, and then buy it back with Cruelty of Gix. Interesting. I did not anticipate them attacking like this. So I'm gonna win this combat. Still at 18, 3 cards to 3 cards. Titan of Industry versus Sheoldred. Like, we're not even really that far behind. 7-7 versus... Oh, Vorinclex. This guy, he's just me. That would have been a good time to draw a point removal spell. Alright, so, new plan. Does he have enough mana to flip over his Vorinclex? If they can flip over Vorinclex, then life gets a little bit interesting. Yeah. Just fade. Just fade, please. Oh, Tyrannus Rex. Kogla and Yidaro. It gains trample and haste. It fights. Can we even win this combat? Alright, I'm gonna block here and take 15. Killing this is important because what does it allow us to do? Cruelty of Gix, his Titan of Industry. To gain life and kill the Grand Evolution. Which I don't even know if that's good enough at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 mana. Gix's Command. How is it possible that Gix's Command is not good enough? We can kill this, then we'll take 15 coming back. We just have to steal his Titan of Industry. We have no other choice. Destroy an enchantment. If we destroy the enchantment, we're at... Well, we can have like 11, 17... Oh, we can have a... I'd rather make a Rhino then. Kill this. So we can block here and then double block Tyrannus Rex. This is just still horrible, but that is what we're going to try to do. Unless they don't attack. If they don't attack, we're going to Gix's command them into next week. I mean, they could also just have like another insane super haste giant creature. It's always a possibility. Invasion of Ikoria. What is this? When Invasion of Ikoria enters the battlefield, search your library, enter graveyard for a non-human creature with mana value X or less and put it onto the battlefield. 6! Oh my gosh. So this is a legend, right? Oh, he'll have it fight. That was cool, actually. Alright, so does this have Death Touch? No. So, presumably we'll keep the Rhino Warrior. Gix's command them into next week. Let's see here. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with highest power, and then I'll return creatures. Take Vorinclex and actually... Yeah, I'll take Vorinclex and Sheoldred. We have enough mana to cast Graveyard Trespasser this turn. I'll eat something. I actually want, like, to get some of these creatures back. So... Ooh, we get 2? It's nighttime? Sick! I am not going to attack because I am terrified they have another haste. Decks are wild, like, when the new set comes out. The Here's Warcrafting. I played against a battle-based deck, testing this out earlier. Another Invasion of Zendikar, so... You gonna get another Kogla Haster? What do you got? Oh, wait. That's a completely different battle. Got it. Let's see. Just cycling? We can send 8 damage this turn. We can put him to 2. We can put him to lower than 2. How much mana do we have? I think I'm cool with this. I'll send these guys. This should put them to 2 on their turn on account of Sheoldred's ability. So 4... Alright, game 1. Vorinclex v. Vorinclex Violence was insanity. Cut down. It has text because of Fable the Mirror Breaker. Not sure if that's what we want. What do we want? I mean, these Karn Silexes are here for this matchup. So, bringing in 5 cards. Sheoldred's actually probably pretty good because they're liable to have like one really powerful spell, I think, a lot of the time. Briarbridge Tracker. It's kind of a low value creature, as well as it's gumming up the 3. I think Filigree Sylex is probably bad in this matchup because their stuff is so expensive. Let's cut one more. I'll cut a cut down. I don't want to be caught with no cut down against Fable, but gotta cut something. That matchup was rock and roll. Vorinclex v. Vorinclex Violence. Kogla versus Sheoldred. Cruelty of Gix taking their Titan of Industry. I never do any of these shortcuts. I make enough mistakes as it is without cheating with the shortcuts. Alright, Terosuke 774. Alright. I don't think they have great point removal, so our Shigeki's probably pretty good. We have like 3 casting costs, Nahiri's battle killing thing. So plan is like probably Shigeki into ramp. See what they do. If they play Fable, we'll just probably go for the throat it and attack. Hope to draw land. Volcanic Spite deals 3 damage to target creature, planeswalker, or battle. You may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library if you do draw a card. Oh, this card's cool. It also killed poor Shigeki. Alright, looks like we're playing Graveyard Trespasser this turn. Arguable we should have played Ziatora's Proving Ground in order to play Sheoldred next turn on curve, but maybe we'll draw an untapped land. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I am going to gladly go for the throat this, play this, and hope to draw an untapped land. If we don't draw an untapped land, do we eat Shigeki? What are the chances that we Cruelty of Gix Shigeki? Pretty low, right? We could Takenuma Shigeki. I don't know if the game's going to go like that. This doesn't seem like a grinding matchup to me. This seems like two people smashing each other in the face. All right. This card is Insanity. They're going to have an infinite mana next turn, so we really need an untapped land. We did not draw an untapped land. I am going to play Sheoldred and not attack. Because if they have that Kogla card, they can immediately attack Invasion of Zendikar and get... I guess it just becomes a 4/4. 2 cards. I'll attack, fine. I'm not that scared of a 4/4. Especially, our follow-up play can be Gix's Command, which can mess up almost anything. As long as Sheoldred isn't... Actually, even if Sheoldred dies, right, we always can have like a pretty strong comeback with Gix's Command. Nahiri's Warcrafting, sure. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Oh, this is so cool. We're not going to do it, though. Destroy each creature with power 2 or less, and... I'll make this big. Other option is obviously to get Sheoldred back, but they're all the way already down to dead on board. If they have like a single defender, we can Sheoldred them and then kill them with the next attack. So I just went with a growing Graveyard Trespasser. What do you got, opponent? Burn down the house. Respect. Respect. Ziatora's Proving Ground and Forest. So we'll play the Proving Ground. Comes into play tapped. We have all 4 Proving Grounds in play. And then, obviously, the only thing we could get is Forest. What do you got, and is it better than Vorinclex? Koth, Fire of Resistance. Hell of a card. You're at 6 life. I have a 6 power trampling creature. Alright, so we have 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna just start by trying to do this. Attack opponent's face. Yeah. Vorinclex.deck, Vorinclex.victory. So, I like best of 3 play for if I actually want to rank up on ladder, I'll play best of 3 rather than best of 1. First of all, it's the more serious way of playing Magic, because best of 1 smooths your mana in a way that doesn't happen in IRL paper tournaments. And also, I really like sideboarding. Sideboarding is probably my strongest skill as a deck designer. And so I think I get a lot of advantage from sideboarding. So I like to play best of 3 if I'm playing ladder. In this case, like I said, this is kind of the alpha version of a new Vorinclex deck. Just wanted to test it out before doing anything crazy. This hand's great. The only thing bad about it is there's 2 forests. We can somewhat fix that with the dig up. We're going to need to draw some more black lands in order to kind of cast the high end half of our hand. But we have plays on turns 1, 2, and 3, potentially turn 4 if we just draw untapped land. Phoenix Chick, sweet. Let's strive to tap better than we did against the last mono red opponent. Kamano faces Kakazan, sure. What do you got, opponent? Reinforced Ronin. It's actually problematic. When they rebuy the Reinforced Ronin, it'll come in as a 3/3. If they choose to do that next turn, which could make it potentially trade with Graveyard Trespasser. I am not interested in that particular trade. 1 1/3 cards for the card it's probably best in the matchup. I think I'd probably just take 3 if that was their play. If they instead play Squee here, I would block it. Lightning Strike here is not great. I can't really block. If they have like any spell, then their Monastery's Whisper will live and our wonderful Graveyard Trespasser will not. Like, they might just strike and 7 damage. Jeepers! Jeepers! No attacks. Antagonize? Oh my goodness, that's a lot of damage. Alright, all we need to do is like live through this turn and then we're more or less stable. That's a big ask though. Reinforced Ronin. Phoenix Chick. Alright, that's at least gonna get in. Iron Apprentice. This is not good. That's not a good card. Phoenix Chick, in for 1. So our last card is Reinforced Ronin, which they're probably just going to discard at end of turn. I'm going to play this. Play this guy. And then just kind of sit. I mean, I could have just not played Shigeki and flipped Graveyard Trespasser. I'm okay taking 1 point of damage from Phoenix Chick for a few turns, though. And Shigeki is actually an outstanding blocker in this situation. We know their last card, until whatever they just drew, is Reinforced Ronin. Nothing. Great. I like nothing. 10. Sheoldred, my Hun. Drew a card, gained some life. Let's do one of these. We'll take this. Let's do one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 6. Look, Sheoldred can rebuy multiple things now. This combo is obviously the classic. Reckoner Bankbuster plus Sheoldred. Outstanding blocking, outstanding life gain potential. Just don't die to a lone Phoenix Chick. That's all I ask. Everybody in. Alright, that's the sign of desperation, I guess.
I'll activate this guy because I don't want to risk Sheoldred. When Iron Apprentice enters the battlefield, +1/+1 counter. If it dies, if it counters, put it on somebody else. So I just won't block that one. I will block here and here. So theoretically 2 coming in. They're going to need a lot of stuff in order to kill even the things that blocked. Notably, we're going to have enough to cast Invoke Despair this turn, which, presuming we live, means that we'll gain like 6 life this turn. Oh, play with fire, have to discard. I love it. Resolve the ward. I mean, when I'm on the red side, I don't like Graveyard Glutton at all. It's not a nice person. But hopefully you can see like how Graveyard Trespasser / Graveyard Glutton is like the tool of a good person, and how Sunset Revelry is not. It's a tool of a terrible person. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Game 2 it is! These are going to be the best Parasitic Grasps. It'll be so good. Do we want anything else? I don't think so. Gix's command, super good in this matchup. Cruelty of Gix. I think we're gonna just shave down our mana costs. Liliana, Terabad. Alright. If you want, you can go back and check the first match that we played and see if I sideboarded the same way. I don't remember if I did. Brand new deck. C-Mayhem. I wonder if the hyphen is silent. Ugh. Opponent goes first. This hand is so tempting, except for it has 1 land and 2 5-drops. I'll keep this one. Toss back one of these forests. If that land were an untapped green, it's tapped green, like I might have kept that hand. Phoenix Chick. Yep. Yuppers. Next. End turn. Maybe they'll just like throw their +4 thing. Resolves. Oh, mono Swift Spears. I've been on the other side enough to know that you don't want to leave multiple Swift Spears alive if you can help it. Like, you ever see like a turn 3 kill in Standard? It's happened. Phoenix Chick. Got it. Let them attack. Anything exciting? Cast an exciting spell, my opponent. Cast it. Alright. No fun. They're going to antagonize one of the Phoenix Chicks now that I've used my removal spell, but this is just too dangerous. Now that I've killed 2 humans, I'll draw the Cleave card. Okay. Briarbridge Tracker, so I killed 2 ground creatures, leave 2 flyers. How logical. Maybe he'll Lightning Strike our Briarbridge Tracker. Still had Monastery Swift Spear, probably would. 3 Swift Spears. I will gladly block. The likelihood that they can get through the Briarbridge Tracker without expending additional resources is pretty low. Like, that's super good, right? They lose their Swift Spear, they use 2 cards, and we've still got our clue. So we're at 13. I'm feeling okay right now. Feeling okay. Antagonize me? I'm going to sacrifice this in case we draw cut down. We did not draw cut down. Alright. Here's a read the new cards check. What ability does Vorinclex have? There are a lot of abilities on this card. What ability does Vorinclex have? Do you think the opponent has read all of the abilities on Vorinclex? Maybe they have. Tug Speedman. Or Tug's Fast? Opponent gets to choose if they're going first or second. I'm guessing they're going to go first. Alright, we'll keep this hand. Dig Up is going to get us access to the first black that we need. Which we will play on turn 2. We still need a little help, I think, with this hand. That's a lot of the way there. What is this, Grixis? Fable? Nothing. Expectation of Sheoldred living? Very low. Go for the throat. Yep. Do they have a Sheoldred? We don't have an answer to Sheoldred. Corpse Appraiser. Terrible. This is one of the situations where our deck just being full of forests is not the best for us. We can go... Here's Sheoldred number 2 and Ziatora's Proving Ground. So we can cast Invoke Despair or Storm the Festival now. 17 and they're up a card. Just a regular shield. Cool. But do we have the requisite number of cards in our graveyard to flip Sheoldred? No. 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm just going to cast the biggest spell. Cruelty of Gix and Graveyard Trespasser. Choose up to 1. My graveyard. I will eat your Fable. Do you have a sweet creature? No. What is Corrupted Conviction? Explosive single. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may tap any number of untapped creatures you control. 10 damage to a target. Seven in. I'm gonna have to trade here, I think. Right, if I take 7, they can 10 us. Also, we aren't gonna gain any life. Corpse Appraiser. Oh no, they're gonna take our Sheoldred. No fun. I kind of need to draw a land. Let's see here. Search our library. We'll just get Vorinclex. So we can go... They have a Make Disappear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we know about the Make Disappear? We did. Eat their Corpse Appraiser. How are we going to get around this? This card is just going to kill us. Man, drawing all of these cut downs just crushed us. I'm going to try to do this. They're going to Make Disappear us. We'll go to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're shy. Barely shy. But they're going to kill us with this thing in a second. And they have this, like, Corrupted Conviction card. Okay. Is there anything delicious to eat? How do we keep from losing to Explosive Singularity? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They need 10. these two permanents. No attacks. Because we just need to double block the Sheoldred. It has Menace. Reach the Multiverse. Each player mills 10 cards. For each player, choose a creature or planeswalker card that player's graveyard. Put those under the bed. So they took our Graveyard Trespasser and hit its Sugu. Oh, they can just do it insta-sack, crush us, right? Or we don't kill this? Cutdown really enormously punished us this game. It's just... If we side Cutdown out, we're just going to get murdered by Fables, obviously. When... Let's see what happens. Probably gonna die. Reach them. Explosive Singularity. Well, if you're gonna die, it was a classy way to do it. Sheoldred seemed good for them. I'll take that. Cutdown was so bad for us. So bad. We need to have one more card in. I think taking a grinding angle might be completely wrong. Like they're haymakering. It's like that Jund deck we played earlier. Please have a good distribution of lands and spells. Keepable. I don't often play these decks that have like a lot of very inexpensive casting costs. That's not a thing that I do that commonly. Duress. I would take the Dig Up. You should have taken the Dig Up. Fable with the Mirror Breaker, sure. Stinks. Come on, untapped land. Untapped land would be super gas here. Auto pay. I guess it's just like trading 5 mana and a life for 3 mana, and then we get 1 extra card. That's still pretty good. Blood Tithe Harvester. I don't think I care about that right now. I certainly don't care about that right now. Like, it looks like we're very far ahead, but the reality is, I think their deck is just plays at a much higher power level than ours at the high end. This is that card that like deals 10. Ooh, I don't think I want this in my deck after sideboarding. What do we got here? Take these because I want to be able to activate Shigeki.
Drop it.
The Filigree Sylex is not the best. What is this? Change the equation. Choose one. Counter target spell with mana value 2 or less. Counter target red or green spell with mana value 6 or less. My deck is full of green spells. All of them have mana value 6 or less. Odawara. I guess they're going to attack Liliana to death. Respect.
This isn't how things were supposed to go.
Activate Shigeki's ability. One of these. Almost out of forests. And one of these. Alright, they have 2 cards. Hidetsuku and Carry. What did they discard? They just have like infinite in the new set, including a ton of super expensive cards. I don't think they have their combo, or they would have let us block the Vorinclex, I think. You gonna 10 us? What do you got? I guess not. Oh, that was a blot down. That was a blot down. Do I have something that could just, like, bounce something out of the way? Alright, here it is. We'll do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. 9 mana minus 5 is 4. I'll Shigeki for 1. One, 2, 3, 4. Do like this. Hope we don't lose. If you're gonna lose, I guess that is a reasonable way to lose. Playing first. Sweet. Keepable hand. Even sweeter. We have scripted plays on potentially turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3. So we could kill their first thing, play Reckoner Bankbuster, eat their first thing with Graveyard Trespasser, hopefully draw into lands. I mean, this hand just looks like a black control hand, right? Other than the forest. They don't do anything, I'm just going to draw with Reckoner Bankbuster. Yeah. Wedding announcement. That card is very good against Invoke Despair. It's an interesting question. I think we want to make sure that we hit next turn. And then crew this up, attack. I think we can play either Vorinclex or Invoke Despair, depending on what they do. Invoke Despair is pretty bad in this situation. Oh, we can kill the Wandering Emperor.
I hope you're ready to lose. This is what you get for hurting my people.
So options are Vorinclex, crew, attack. I think I just kill these things. We'll prevent them from drawing a card this turn. and kill the Wandering Emperor, which I think is good enough. Invoke Despair for Wandering Emperor I'll live with. Next turn we're going to draw 3 cards. Reckoner Bankbuster, sure. That's a good card. Make disappear? What a white control guy. That made us miss our land drop. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, gotta be honest with you. Should we have gotten basic forest? I don't know. 5 cards to 3, but 3 of our cards actually stink. Point removal's bad against these doofuses. I don't care if they kill this Vorinclex, I have another one. Alright, doofuses. You got Wandering Emperor, yep.
Now you've done it. That's coming.
So,
You're done.
what do they have? Maybe Mirex? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can sacrifice this guy to stop the next Vorinclex. They're not going to, apparently. Get 1 and 1. Crew this up. Kill the Emperor, presumably. We have like a destroy tool or something.
I guess that's it then.
I guess that's it then. We've drawn 3 Vorinclexes this game. We're gonna flip. Cruelty of Gix to get our Vorinclex, presumably. Can't get any forests. Oh, they're just getting a card to deal with Vorinclex. Good show. Good show, sir. Go for the throat. Resolves. Presumably we have to deal with Chapter 3 on that cruelty still. What else am I going to do with this cut down? That was disappointing. Ooh, I know what I want to dig up. This guy. Probably get our Vorinclex. I don't think there's anything better. Do you have any forests? No, you just have like a 6/6. Can you like play Mirex for transformation? Cruelty again. What are you getting? Just to see our hand. We have no creatures. Storm is gonna be sick. Okay, I guess it's not. That was a disappointing storm. Probably just don't want to take infinite damage here. Man, that dig up could have been better. And then they'll reanimate Cruelty again. Rather Vorinclex with Cruelty. So 1 card against they're gonna get Vorinclex. We have 3 dig up. We have 2 dig ups left. We used the first dig up in foolish fashion. I think the next dig up should get Shigeki. I think we're probably gonna have time. Eat a poison. Just make disappear was sick. Wedding announcement, sure. Draw a card. They're not making it easy for us. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we can Filigree Sylex all the tokens next turn. Let's go. Make disappear. Yep. No attacks. We can easily clear the battlefield. That's the cool thing about this. We have a Filigree Sylex and a Dig Up. I would like to have this Vorinclex back. See, attracts a Reanimator? I mean, now I'm thinking about this. Who else plays Cruelty of Gix? Elshnorn. Can you flip 5? I'll block. Creatures control get +1/+1 and gain double strike. Destroy all other permanents except for artifacts, lands, and Phyrexians. Filigree. One, two, three, four. We can get our own Vorinclex back. Cast it. The last 2 forests in our deck. And probably have to just kill this, right? Like, probably should have killed it on our turn in case they drew Make Disappear. Yeah, that was terrible. This is gonna get double strike, and we're gonna have to let it hit. Oh, we can just throw our Reckoner Bankbuster in front of it. No!
I'll clean up this mess. I bought us some
Jumper do. This whole sequence was a mess. Okay, how do we get out of this? We need to get rid of the Eternal Wanderer. So let's get something that gets rid of the Eternal Wanderer. Our Invoke is already in the graveyard. Shigeki is the best option. What do we have left? We can play a land. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. We can do this. Not sure what that was. Shigeki for 1. One, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna do this. So they will at least lose the Eternal Wanderer. So it is my Vorinclex against your Elshnorn. I have 2 cards, one of which is a card advantage card versus your 1 card. You have 2 Myrics online. We're out of Shigekis, though. Can we get them back anyway? You're gonna go to flip again? Filigree Sylex to the rescue. Alright, they have no creatures in play to gain double strike, etc. Memory Deluge. Their deck is full of Magic the Gathering cards. Like, good Magic the Gathering cards. Could they ever fight Beatdown? They have just, like, no cards that are good against Beatdown, I guess. Like, my whole, like, job in life is not losing to Beatdown. And they're just like, Beatdown, who cares? Give me a token. You live, give me a token, not a token. Am I gonna lose? Oh, yep, that thing died. Needed a token. Rigmarole. I would take a Sheoldred and some prayer. 2 life, Sheoldred and prayer. Why would you sacrifice that? What is this? 15. It's 30 damage. I thought we had it. How many cutdowns did we draw? 1, 2. We're gonna draw 0 cutdowns this game, so that was a terrible finale. This card was awesome. This card was good. I think we want this. All Silexes seem to be pretty good. They have the Cruelty of Gix. I think they have a lot of token creatures to make Sheoldred very good. This guy almost won the game for us, but almost is not the whole way. Let's try this. Any token would have been fantastic. Attack for 4. Good game. Also, I think we did make that mistake with the Vorinclex in the mid-game. I'm going to play Deathcap Glade to start. If we don't draw a land, I'll dig up for a swamp. We drew a land. Perfecto. Land here would be really good. If we don't draw land, I'm just gonna... Oh, we drew land. Don't have to worry about it. That's like most of our forests, by the way. He probably has, like, Disdainful Stroke or something. Hits! Miracles. Sure. So Go for the Throat is going to go to Elshnorn, obviously. If we can help it. I did not know I was going to draw that. Maybe we should have gotten a regular forest. I think I'm going to take the Coward's route. Actually, no. We can attack here. If they have Wandering Emperor, we can just get additional action with this Vorinclex. Alright.
I've learned much during my travels. Let me show you.
I don't think they can prevent our Vorinclex from entering the battlefield with 1 mana. We can trample over and kill that, presumably. Oh, that's good.
I have got new moves
1, 2,
to
3,
teach
4,
you.
5, 6. I will take that trade any day. So they have a Planeswalker. We have 2 good permanents. They have 5 cards to our 6. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're more or less even.
May your blade strike.
Reckoner Bankbuster. I will attack the Wandering Emperor. Will not eat our Storm Festival. I guess we're losing this. Let's do a dig up. Invoke. Is it worth playing Karn Sylex here? No, I think not. I think I'm just going to draw with Reckoner Bankbuster. Like, while they have the Wandering Emperor in play, if they're up like 1.5 good permanents, I think we're meaningfully up. And Mirex could be a problem in the long term. What are you going to do?
Remember your training.
Alright, Banquo. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more for Storm of the Festival Flashback. Just go for this. Maybe you should have played a land first in case they have a double make disappear. Bankbuster number 2. Maybe he decided out Make Despair. Like, it's probably not very good against us in the mid game. Caught us good in got one of our Vorinclexes last game. So I'm just gonna take this 3. I'm gonna really save the Go for the Throats for Elshnorn. In this situation, I want to take off the counter from the Bankbuster with fewer counters because it just accelerates how quickly I can get to getting the pilot in play. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 10. One of these. Last 2 forests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. Oh wait, we already played a land? I guess we'll summon this guy. Ooh, it's nighttime. Sick. So 7 cards versus 6. And they have an active Mirex. That's pretty strong. Go for the Throat. Can't argue with that. Are we 3 Vorinclexes down? It's 1. Yep. But it doesn't really matter, right? Like, we've already gotten every forest out of our deck. Sheoldred's Edict. First, I'm going to actually do this. Then I'm going to crew with this guy. Then I'm going to sacrifice this creature, which used to be a vehicle. And I'm going to keep my Graveyard Trespasser. Isn't that nice? Elshnorn. Can't argue with that. Do you have the mana to do it this turn? Okay. Are you going to attack with this samurai? That would be sick. Okay, on my turn, I will tap this for black. Dig up the Filigree Sylex. Yep. Saw where that was going. I like how we're set up for this game. Anyway, these are really good games. I think we made our deck better by just not having cut down in it, and our toolbox really has a chance to come out in the speed of this matchup. This matchup is about us hitting land. If we hit our land, our high end is really strong, and we can just be disciplined and save our go for the throat for Elshnorn, and I think we're in good shape. But the games are really good. It's not like we were losing to some nonsense. Ugh. Speaking of losing to nonsense, keep this 6. Painful. So I'm going to just trade this dig up for a swamp. So, like, it's the same as, like, mulliganing, but we have a swamp instead of a forest. And in addition, in the mid game, if this Shigeki gets active, we can use the Shigeki to get the dig. It's not going to come at. Let's go on the offense. Opponent, we'll take that go for the throat. So trading 1 for 1 is pretty good since we're down a card to begin with. So, alright, we need this to resolve. Ugh, barf. So we might as well summon this. Make disappear? Man, we really needed that Reckoner Bankbuster to resolve. No, I did not mean to cycle that. I meant to play it. So bad. So bad. You would already be online. No. Are we gonna ramp this up to 4 to kill the Wandering Emperor?
I'm home. Guards, to me.
So kill this guy with the Filigree Sylex. It's terrible. Counter? Make disappear? Please live, Shigeki. Alright, that's all our Shigekis.
Let your blade do the talking.
4. I cannot believe we cycled that stupid land. If we hadn't cycled that land, the game might already be over. Please don't have a counterspell. And it's a lame one. What are you gonna cruelty? Destroy creatures and return creatures. Shigeki and Shigeki. Could potentially get our Trespasser. We could nab the Trespasser in response, which would be sweet. Do they have anything good? No. It's going to be a tough road. 4, 5, 6. 6 minus 2, 4. We can get 2 cards, including when they target with the Cruelty of Gix. They're going to target with Trespasser. We get Trespasser and Bankbuster. This command was awesome, actually. So we more or less blanked that Cruelty. They got the middle section and took 3. Invasion of Tolvada. We're gonna get back Cruelty. Oh, that's fantastic. That's really good. That's super impressive. Let's see, they have 3 cards. I guess we have to play like this. And we literally have to... Let's see, if we eat Shigeki... Is that right? I guess it's right. Negate. Resolve. Oh, was it night? Could we have eaten 2 Shigekis? No, that's a screw up. You're gonna get an answer for Graveyard Trespasser here. I guess it's better for them to Cruelty Graveyard Trespasser anyway. What does this become? Creature tokens get lifelink. Yeah, I don't want him to have that. Figures they probably got like Sheoldred Ziatora or something. I am going to do this. Must have gotten Sheoldred Ziatora. Wandering Emperor? Shigeki. Yep, Wandering Emperor.
Anyone
Are you
who
gonna
harms my people
block
must
first
contend
strike?
with me.
You really think that was going to work out? All right. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're 2 lands off still. Just draw a Vorinclex, right? Oh boy. We're very far behind now.
Protect the people.
That was a heck of a top deck. Vorinclex and Karn's Sylex, I think. Vorinclex and Bankbuster? Let's look at the... It's definitely Vorinclex for one of them. Vorinclex and Karn's Sylex.
Okay. That was a heck of a top deck.
All right, let's do a little post-game chat. I like this deck. I think it has some play to it. It's very powerful. I think, as you can see, Vorinclex itself is just a powerful Magic card. It's 6/6 for 5 with 2 just regular good combat abilities, and then if you never flip it, it just still drew 2 cards. It just drags you forward. As you can see, whenever the opponent would use like card like Go for the Throat on it, they were just always falling behind as a result. Because you just kept drawing 2 cards. Sometimes you get Ziatora's Proving Ground as one of the forests you get, which allows you to transform the land into a spell in the mid to late game, especially after you've gotten all the forests out of your deck. And did we ever flip it? I don't think we ever flipped it. But clearly, if you ever flip it, your opponent's in a lot of trouble. I think that if there are things that are like kind of imperfect about this deck, one of them is just it's not a great Storm the Festival deck. There's so many spells. There's so many like, Go for the Throats and cut downs and dig ups that you're not always hitting permanents. But we only have one Storm of the Festival in the main. When we have the additional Storm of the Festivals after sideboarding, we're typically bringing in cards like Karn Sylex. As you can see, whenever we had Karn Sylex, the opponent had to respect it. And that card's really good against... I think that if people are going to play a lot of battles and they're going to play a lot of Planeswalkers, that this is an outstanding card to bring in after sideboarding. And it just has this really harmonious combination when you have Storm of the Festival and Karn Sylex at the same time. The rest of the deck, Sheoldred is Sheoldred. Interestingly, I think like Sheoldred didn't do that much for us in the games that we watched today. I think it had a lot of experience playing black control decks, and it's just all about Graveyard Trespasser to Sheoldred. And it's not like I played fewer Sheoldreds than I usually play. I usually play 3 or 4 Sheoldreds. But she didn't do as much as she does in most of the black control matchups. I think because, I don't know, Vorinclex was just so center stage here. Is this deck good enough to play? I think it is. I'm going to keep working on it. Hopefully next week we'll do, if maybe a follow-up video, do an event or 2. I really like the dig up into Singleton's package. Gix's Command got its money for us. Cruelty of Gix was fantastic for us. Invoke Despair. This is not a very good Invoke Despair deck, but, there was still times when Invoke Despair was what we wanted. I guess except that time when we Invoke Despair and died to the opponent's deal 10, which was kind of hilarious. I didn't think that was possible because Sheoldred should have given us 4 extra life, but Syrah. Hope you like this video. Yes, we're working on some new cards as well. Today we focused on Vorinclex as a build around. This is a card that laces everything in this green-black deck together. If you liked Vorinclex and you want to buy some Vorinclexes, might I suggest you do so at coolstuffinc.com. And while you're there, use promo code Flores, Flores, for 5% off of the Vorinclexes you buy or anything else that your heart might desire. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.